Well, I'm actually honoured to be chatting with Chris from Little Nino.
Well,
How are you doing?
Doing great. Pleasure to be here in beautiful Wales, right across the street from a castle, which I couldn't have predicted that. Like literally, you say, "Well, we're going to Wales. I wonder if there's going to be a castle," and then you park across the street from one, and you say, "Wow, there's a castle."
So is this the first time for you guys in Wales, or have you been here before?
No, we've been here before several times. It's just been many years since we came back, though. Yeah, it's been a long time. Very, very long time.
Excellent. You've got quite good history as well, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but formed in 1998? You guys
98, yeah.
Yeah. How, back then, if you can sort of like, if we can go back to like your very, very formation in New Jersey, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever foresee that you would be as big as what you are today?
Well, I mean, we knew that we wanted to do this professionally. We wanted to make music to try to connect with people.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, obviously, we wanted to make music that we thought was cool, and that came from the heart, So, we didn't necessarily try to make it a thing. Oh, let's try to be a huge act or anything like that, or else we would have played pop music or something like that. But we were always very serious about it, and we were constantly pushing the envelope as far as being original, trying to bring something new to the table, and we had hopes that it would carry us a long way.
Yeah.
But you could never really predict what the future brings. All you could do is live for the present and do as best as you can at the moment, and hope that carries you on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with your the release of your 2012 album. I noticed that there was an almost like a sort of a change within music. The band had sort of like exploded with the album compared with like your previous releases. Was that something which you set about, or did it just happen naturally when you were recording?
I think it definitely happened naturally, but it took some years of exploration, I believe, individually, for us to realize that we are very different as individuals. We all like extremely different things, but there are some things that make us alike, and those were the things that we needed to focus on regarding the record we just put out, Epidemia. As far as getting to that point, I think it did take a lot of learning about each other again, and realizing what our qualities were that would be the best qualities to bring forth in the band, allowing everybody in the band to bring forth their best effort, without necessarily trying to shove an idea down somebody's throat. And it was very much a mutual record. Epidemia is one of those albums that we wrote songs. We tried to have a very rhythmic foundation before we even started writing separately. We usually write separately because we live spread out all over the U.S. But we try to have a really rhythmic foundation, or a unified rhythmic understanding before we started writing. And I think that kind of allowed us to come a little bit closer as musicians and as business partners in a band. Beyond that, it was truly a record where we didn't overthink too many things. We really, really, really wanted it to be about feelings, and we wanted everything to really come from the heart, and to really, really be not too overthought. We didn't pay attention about what was going on in the music scene, and there wasn't this business thing behind our backs saying, this is what's going on in music, this is what's going on with that. So it's a very natural record. It's a very real record, and I think the fans can feed off of that. Music is supposed to be that, and it's not supposed to be anything else. I like technicality, and there are some things that are technical on the record and that involve some theory, but I think first and foremost it has to come from the heart.
Yeah.
And that's what makes music special. You know, some people call it magic, and other people call it intuition. You know, and I'd like to call it just being a band and being friends and understanding what the final goal should be and who your fans are.
Yeah.
And why they're your fans.
Mm. That is sometimes refreshing to sort of hear that it's who the fans are and what the fans what you think what you respect, what the fans would like,
right,
as well. Getting back to like you said about you guys are spread across the US. So when it comes to writing material, getting riffs down, do you communicate is it via email, or is there certain points how do you communicate across between each other?
Usually we send a lot of stuff to each other over the internet in the beginning stages of writing the music, but there comes a point where we do get together,
yeah,
and we try to hash out some of the things that are being put on the table individually from each other. And I think the most important thing for our band is to at least begin the individual writing process from the same starting point.
Yeah.
Because it could get very confusing and very complicated if everybody's thinking something completely different and then bring songs forward.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is something that definitely we learned on the last record, is we have to first unite, know exactly where we should be starting from, and then from there individually write.
Yeah. So is it like when you guys all get back together, it's almost like the family coming back together when you're back in the studio, because obviously you're miles apart.
Yeah,
and you can be miles apart for such long length of time.
Yeah, I mean, usually we do a little bit of jamming and try to hash out what doesn't feel right, songs that may not fit with the concept of what the entire record is starting to sound like, and really just try to make it so that we sound like a unit, not like a bunch of separate individuals in a band.
Mm.
And on this record, that was very, very important. It was extremely important to me to try to bring the band closer together.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing which I did like about the album as well. It's everything was everything was like one. Everyone was working together as one unit. There wasn't something that seemed remotely out of place at all, right, anywhere. So to me that proves how much of a good tight-knit sort of foundation you guys have got as well.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So when it comes to your New Jersey fans, your fans across the States and your European fans, do you notice if there's any sort of difference? What's it? Sorry, it's a camera just.
That was our sound engineer, Steve Lagudi.
Yeah, do you notice if there's any difference between your US fans and your European fans, or does it all seem to everyone unites under the flag?
I mean, there are some countries where some of the fans are a little bit more passionate than the others.
Yeah.
But I think that our European fans and our US fans share the same love for what we do, you know? We have a lot of great fans all over the world, and there are some places in the world where they're not used to seeing us, so when we arrive it is a little bit more, there's a little bit more chaos and passion, you know, and chaos within the passion that they have for the music.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that all our fans are touched by the way we do our things in their own personal way, and I think that music should do that. We shouldn't take away from that as musicians, from the way the fans are touched by the music. And so far the reaction has been great all over. You know, we've had some great shows in Europe, great shows in the UK, and we've traveled a lot. We did some South American shows, and those were pretty amazing. Did some US shows, and you know, we're just very thankful to have loving fans, and fans that just like the musical decisions we made on the last record, I guess, is the most important thing.
Yeah, excellent. Well, obviously tonight the venue here is really up close and personal.
Very tiny venue, yeah.
You and your fans.
Yeah.
As a musician, do you prefer playing these types of venues, or do you like the bigger sort of stadium sort of festivals?
I don't particularly have a preference over the venue. size, as long as the sound is good. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not concerned with how much space I have on stage, as long as my microphone stand is there with the microphone and I have my place on the stage.
Yeah.
And as long as the band members can have their room to be able to perform with their instruments properly. I don't have a particular preference on stage size. To me, the most important thing is just the sound and the fans really being able to enjoy the show from an audio point of view that is different than the album, that's more powerful than the record. We're a very complicated band to capture on record, and live sometimes we can get right to the point and it can come across really, really good. So to me, the most important thing, whether the venue's small or big, is just the sound. We've played big stages, huge festivals where the systems could have been better, the sound systems could have been better, and we played some very, very tiny clubs where the sound system was just immense and sounded amazing. So that's really the only factor to me that matters is, the fans and what are they going to be able to walk away with. I want them to be able to walk away with an audio experience as well as a visual experience.
Excellent. So obviously you've Cardiff tonight. I think you've got, is it Brighton on Thursday?
Yeah.
So what is in store for Little Nero for the rest of sort of 2013? And are we going to be seeing you back in the UK later on in the year?
I think we might be coming back later on after the summer festivals. For the summer, what we have planned right now is we have 3 shows left in the UK.
Yeah.
Then we're going to Russia. We're playing a show in Moscow and a show in Belarus.
Yeah.
Then we'll be going home for about, I think it's 30 days. And we have some shows that we're playing in Mexico, South America. We have a festival that we're doing with Anthrax and Motorhead and some other bands in Central America. I believe a Mexico City show with Anthrax and Motorhead as well. And we have some Central South American shows that we're doing. Not too much elongated touring that we're trying to plan, but we are going to be doing a lot of traveling abroad.
Yeah.
Central America, South America. We're planning on going to Asia sometime in August, July, and possibly Australia later on in the year.
Yeah.
And I believe we're trying to set up an Eastern European tour sometime later on this year as well.
Excellent.
And a U.S. tour sometime blended into all that, but it gets very complicated. We're trying to be a traveling band more than we used to be, just because we realize that we have a lot of fans all over the world, and there's some places we haven't been to yet. And even though we've been around for a long time, there are some countries that we need to get to. Yeah.
Out of the countries which you haven't been to, what one would you really, really want to go to and look forward to playing?
Well, last year we got to go to China twice, which was really, really cool. I don't think many bands can say that they've been able to go there to play.
Not many, no.
So that was really, really interesting. Would love to get to South Africa. I know we have some South African fans that have been pleading for us to go there for a while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not always up to the band where we go, but it has a lot to do also with business and our booking agent and the promoters from the places that are booking shows. So I would say, we'd definitely love to go to South Africa. We'd love to play New Zealand sometime. We've been to Australia several times, but never played New Zealand, so would definitely look forward to do that. I think we're planning some shows in Thailand. That would be very interesting. And I think beyond that, we haven't been to Finland in a really, really, really long time. But beyond that, that's pretty much all the parts we've never been to. So I'm hoping we can get to those eventually sometime.
Oh, brilliant.
Or, I mean, for the sake of us wanting to bring the music to the fans, know.
Oh, that's excellent. There's a question which I'd like to end on, is what I class as a band fantasy question. Now, a couple of years ago, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer and Anthrax all teamed up and performed Am I Evil, known as the Big Four. Mm-hmm. So if you guys could pick 3 other bands to perform with you and perform one song, what other 3 bands would you like to have perform with you, and what song would you like to perform?
That's a very, very interesting question. Well, we just had a great European run with our friends in Ectomorph, so that was pretty cool. We became really, really great friends with them in a matter of a couple days, and even though they are from an Eastern European country, and you know, we're thousands of miles apart and separated by completely different cultures and things like that, we're very much alike, and we come from the same rhythmic sense, so I think it would be cool to definitely do a song with them, which currently in the works is a song that I'm going to do with Ectomorph to try to bring the family, the El Nino Ectomorph family, a little bit closer together. Another band I would love to perform with, because I consider them a culture metal band, would be Skindred. Skindred's a really, really great band. Benji's a great friend of ours and very, very talented individual. The whole band is very talented. So maybe an Ectomorph Skindred El Nino song might be interesting to do. I don't know where it would wind up or how we would get to you know, the actual concept of what the song would be, but I think it would come out pretty interesting.
I think it would work as well. It would work. Yeah. I can see that actually working. That would be really, really cool. Well, I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out and chatting with me today.
Oh no, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
No, it's an honour for me to be.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to seeing you guys perform later on. Wish you all the best on the remaining tour, obviously across the UK.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to seeing you back in the UK, hopefully later on in the year as well.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to come back and make some kind of plans to get back to this part of the world. Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.